Coming up, the Phillies and the Blue Jays use big home runs to get weekend wins. This is Locked On Game to Game, MLB.
Every game, every team, every angle. Locked On Game to Game, your team every day.
Welcome in. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. Local experts join us to recap everything for you from yesterday in Major League Baseball. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. Thank you for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Brandon Belt broke a seventh-inning tie with a two-run home run for the Blue Jays yesterday, who beat the Mets fairly easily after that. Locked On Blue Jays has more after Toronto's win.
Hello, friends. Craig Ballard, Locked On Blue Jays for the fourth time this season. Absolutely thrilled to be saying how sweet it is for your Toronto Blue Jays. In today's game, Monday afternoon series finale at New York against the Mets, Blue Jays led 4-0, were caught at 4-all, but then Brandon Belt, who was robbed all game by yet another, right, atrocious performance by a home plate umpire. My goodness, robo-umps yesterday. But Belt, in his final at-bat late in the game, went straight away center field, huge two-run home runs, and the Blue Jays bullpen secured the rest of the game for the 6-4 win and the sweep. Just 11 total runs over the weekend series, but 'twas a sweep. Now, what is it with the Blue Jays extremes on weekends, right? Swept by Baltimore a few weekends ago, but the weekend before that swept Atlanta, and the weekend before that swept Pittsburgh, and now this weekend swept the New York Mets. I don't think a sweep is coming in this next series as the Blue Jays do return home, but it's 4 against the extremely good Houston Astros. Join me on Locked On Blue Jays.
Kyle Schwarber hit a pair of home runs as the Phillies took care of the Nationals on Sunday. Locked On Phillies has more after ending the weekend on a win.
The Philadelphia Phillies win again. They've won 2 in a row. Connor Thomas, your host of Locked On Phillies, and June Schwarber's finally here. Drew Ellis is finally here. I had 2 home runs for both of them today. And the June Phillies, I know it's the Nationals, but the Phillies haven't been able to beat anybody recently, so we'll take the wins where you can get them. Kind of feels like they're developing momentum, but man, great start by Ranger Suarez, great offensive performance by the Phillies. Trey Turner still needs to get going, but how can you have complaints after this game? Such a great win for the Philadelphia Phillies. And I think this is the lucky shirt. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wear this shirt every day after the Philadelphia Phillies win for the rest of the season. Because why not? This team needs some momentum. They need some luck. They need something going their way. And maybe the lucky shirt is enough to get that done. But a great win for the Philadelphia Phillies today. And we'll talk about it more on the next episode of Locked On Phillies.
The Yankees scored all of their runs in the final 3 innings to beat the Dodgers on Sunday night. And our Locked On local experts tell us more after New York took the series in LA.
The Yankees win 2 out of 3 in LA against the Dodgers. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias of Locked On Yankees, and it was a pitcher's duel between Domingo Germán and Bobby Miller. Bobby Miller pitched 6 innings, only gave up 1 hit, didn't surrender a run to the Yankees, walked 2 and struck out 7. Domingo Germán went 6 2/3, gave up 1 run on 4 hits with a walk and 6 strikeouts. That 1 run was a solo shot by JD Martinez. The one bad curveball that Domingo Germán threw all night, and he deposited it into left field. Now, the Yankees were able to scratch across a run in the 7th inning, some sloppy play by the Dodgers. 8th inning, also scratched across a run. And then in the 9th inning, Anthony Volpe, who's having a rough time lately, hit a 2-run home run to give the Yankees some insurance runs. So we'll have everything you need to know about this game on the next Locked On Yankees, and it's Minors Monday.
Coming up, Shohei Ohtani leads the Angels to a win over the defending champs. This is Locked On Game to Game, MLB. Today's edition of Locked On Game to Game is brought to you by Built Bar, the best tasting protein bars on the market, probably because they're made with 100% real chocolate. They're high in protein, but they're low in sugar, low in carbs, and low in fat. So they're good for you, but they also taste great. I personally love the puffs, which are the protein-infused marshmallow. Now, you can always order at Built.com, but you can also get them in person at Walmart or Sam's Club. I go to Sam's Club and get that 13-bar box because I like to stock up, but you can also go to the pharmacy section in Walmart and get the 4-bar boxes. There's dozens of different flavors, so you can try out all kinds of different things and see which one you like the best. Trust me, you will not regret it. Welcome back. You're listening to Locked On Game to Game MLB. I'm your host, Kainani Stevens. The Cubs scored the first 7 runs against the Padres on Sunday, and our Locked On Cubs host recaps a big win for Chicago.
very nice weekend for the Cubs, very nice Sunday win for the Cubs in San Diego. They beat the Padres 7-1 to take 2 out of 3. They have a game on Monday, so it's a 4-game series, so they technically haven't won the series quite yet. But Marcus Stroman continues to be one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. Another scoreless earned run game for him. The Cubs jumped on Weathers early. A left-handed pitcher. The Cubs have really been good, even through this really rough stretch lately against left-handed pitching all year. They've been really solid. They jumped on him early, never looked back. I think after the end of the second inning, it was 5-0. Mancini hit a home run. Yan Gomes hit a home run. Miguel Amaya hit a home run, one of the Cubs' top prospects coming up and showing out today. So it was a nice win, nice weekend overall. Cubs will try and take the series tomorrow night in San Diego.
Shohei Ohtani got a go-ahead double in the 8th to put the Angels ahead of the Astros for good on Sunday, and our Locked On Angels and Astros hosts recap the final from Houston yesterday.
It was a rough weekend for the Angels in Houston, and after dropping 3 straight games, they finally salvaged a victory on Sunday. What's going on, everybody? John Frisch, one half of Locked On Angels. The Halos were able to walk away with a win on Sunday, 2-1, thanks to Griffin Canning's strong start on the mound. He's looked great, especially in his last few starts. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run on a home run. Luis Rengifo tied it up with a home run, and then Shohei Ohtani with a clutch RBI double with Zach Neto on first base. It was a full count, so Neto got a head start on that one. He came all the way around to score on Ohtani's double. And then the pitching in this one, man. Chris Davinsky locks it down for an inning and 2/3. Carlos Estevez comes in for the last out of the 8th and then shuts it down in the 9th. So, man, good pitching from the Halos. How about that? And that's actually what got them the win. Mike and I are going to recap the entire series on Locked On Angels, so join us wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey there, it's John Wellhouse here with Locked On Astros, and the Astros fall to the Angels 2-1. But it was a masterful performance by J.P. France. Going the longest he's gone in his Major League career, he took a no-hitter into the 5th inning, and he was perfect through 4. This was a game that you would love for him to get run support. There was a solo home run by Yanner Diaz late, but it wasn't enough as the Angels put up a second run, and then the bats just could not do enough to get over that hump. But they still win the series 3-4. On the latest Locked On Astros podcast, we talk about an update on Jose Altuve, and we will have a mini show previewing the Astros and Blue Jays that we'll be putting up on Monday. So stay tuned in to Locked On Astros. Remember, we're your team every day. We talk about a red-hot Alex Bregman and so much more. These young pitchers that have come up are really doing the job. And remember, we continue to do the job because we're your team every day. Go Stros.
Catcher Jonah Heim drove in 5 of the Rangers' 12 runs on the way to an easy Texas win over the Mariners on Sunday. Locked On Rangers goes over what happened in Arlington yesterday.
Rangers take 3 out of 3 against the Mariners in an absolutely obliterating sweep, especially in the Sunday game where they won 12-3. I'm Bryce Patrick, host of the Locked On Rangers podcast. This was an absolute butt whooping by the Rangers all weekend long, capped with this Sunday game. The Rangers had 8 extra base hits, including 6 doubles, 2 home runs, a massive showing yet again by the Rangers offense that just scored 16 runs the day before. This was against Bryce Miller, who is one of the best rookie pitchers in baseball. They did it against relievers in this fantastic bullpen. It did not matter. The Rangers are mashing everybody who's thrown at them. Nathan Eovaldi had a fantastic 6 shutout innings of work. Continues to be fantastic after being named AL Pitcher of the Month. This Rangers team is really freaking good.
That's it for this edition of Locked On Game to Game MLB. We thank you, as always, for making Locked On your first listen every single weekday. Make sure you are subscribed to both Locked On MLB and your favorite team's Locked On podcast on YouTube and wherever else you get your podcasts from. I'm Kainani Stevens. This has been Locked On Game to Game.